Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Xavier King Show. And today we will be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3 of season 7, episode 20. And P.S. Bravo, please stop giving us these long, drawn out reunions. There was nothing really going on this season besides Giselle reaching for a storyline. Reaching into everybody else's life for a storyline, okay? Now, I'm starting here with part 3. I'll try to sum up a couple of other points from the first or second one, but this will be mostly, covering the third part of the reunion. But anyway, my whole thing is this season has been very lackluster. I mean, some people had good seasons, some more than others, Giselle, she's never had a storyline. She makes everybody else her storyline. We understand that at this point. So when we get to the part 3 of the reunion, it picks up with Jacqueline coming on stage and her and Mia bringing out the long drawn out color copies and binder clippings and notebooks and printed out papers. I'm just this trope of reunion evidence is starting to get old. It's getting old very quick. It hasn't been utilized well. I mean, in a minute. So can we stop doing this? Bring out the reunion. Just bring out your cell phone. You see this little thing right here. Just be like, here, look, this is this that, because this belong. It's just getting theatrical. But Jacqueline begins exposing, Mia, saying that her husband was reaching out to her and trying to figure out where she was and when she was in Atlanta, because low key she was probably, Anyway, moving on, we'll be talking about, the other things that Jacqueline basically exposed. That basically the whole meal where she basically told Jacqueline, where were you at with your mother? Because I was with her on Mother's Day. Only to find out she called her and talked to her for an hour. See, Mia's a sick person. I don't understand. Mia's a different class of individual, and I do not feel like she is right for this show. I mean, I've seen a lot of people declass the show really quickly, but she is a very, very, very special character. She does not belong on here. She belongs on Love and Hip Hop, Bad Girls Club, baddies, because they're doing the 30 plus edition. You feel what I'm saying? So, Mia's not a good fit for this show. Her assaulting, and that's exactly what it was. In most states, if not all states, to toss a drink into someone's face is an assault charge. Just like taking your pocketbook and clucking somebody in the head with it, assault charge. And one thing that I do not condone when it comes to certain situations is you getting physical off of the back of you not being able to defend yourself with your words. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to people who overreact, I feel like if someone's not saying something detrimental or really putting that shank to you, what we don't do is get physical, because shows like this, like as we see with, I'm just saying, Monique in the Candace fight. Monique could not handle Candace's words at that moment, so she assaulted her. You feel what I'm saying? Same thing with Mia. Wendy was speaking too many truths that was hitting close to home. So she attacked her. Instead of being able to combat with her words or trying to make Wendy, even though there was no point to be made, but even trying to cohesively talk to someone, and that's your first result because you don't have no comeback or you don't have any, word retaliation. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, Jacqueline exposes that Mia has never, ever, ever, ever owned any of her businesses. She was never the CEO, as she would claim. And basically, as she keeps reading her for filth, all of a sudden, Mia just quickly just puts it, I'm not going to do that to her. Oh, now you're not going to do it. Oh, because this is the time where she could really throw you down the steps, run you over with a semi truck. You know what I'm saying? But this time is the time where you're choosing to hold off. Okay, Well, I can honestly say that Mia was never Jacqueline's friend. Jacqueline basically co-signed a lot of the things that she was saying, because like in the time where they asked about, did G pay for your car, and she was like, wait a minute, what did Mia say? That was her way of basically saying, well, if she's telling people she's paying for my car, she was that good of a friend, family, sister, to not throw her under the bus and say, yo, I paid for all of this myself. She did nothing for me. You feel what I'm saying? So, with that being said, Jacqueline was a really good friend. Mia got on the show, and as the case in point with a lot of friendships on television shows, it corroded before all of us and for all of us to see. You know what I'm saying? So, moving on, because it wasn't much coming out of that. There definitely won't going to be any reconciliation. So, Jacqueline, oh yeah, and another thing I had put in my notes was to say Andy told Jacqueline that she lost a sister. And I said, hell no. She wasn't a sister to her, never was a sister to her. So that was a far statement, because a sister would never get on television and do exactly what Mia did to Jacqueline. All right, so right now we're getting to the part of the reunion where they're bringing Charisse out, and you can already tell it's about to be some mess. Andy asks a couple of questions to Charisse about her involvement on the show, and he makes it known to Karen that, hey, for the last 4 years that Charisse has been on the show, she has not been seeking to get back on the show. She not come on the show to ruin you this season. And playing devil's advocate when I say this, Charisse did not come. She did not come maybe to be malicious, but Karen, from her point of view, she's always the first person everybody guns for. Karen has a lot of things that is wrong with her, but she's not stupid in the fact of knowing that Charisse has been around many times, and no matter where things seem to line up, she always goes, it becomes combative. It really does every single time. So I understand where Charisse is coming from, that, hey, for years I never brought up this, but I literally gave you my heart and came and reached out to you and showed up for your mother's funeral. Now, the people who literally say that she said that nobody comes and does anything like that and even brings it up. But you can't say that, because when you're already cutting a person's legs off of them and not allowing them to basically, come at you from another perspective, her coming at you from the sympathetic point of view of saying, hey, I didn't do this for the cameras. I literally supported you in one of your worst days. And that's where Karen gets disconnected. And it's not, I'm going to be honest, it's not a disconnect with Karen. One thing I have learned about Karen, she only cares about herself. I don't care how much of a fan base that Karen has. I seen when she basically did the situation with Candace and Monique, she had her back against the wall, and instead of her owning up to the fact that, hey, I took Monique's side because low key I was seeing what the fans were saying, and obviously I wasn't gonna pick a side, but low key I was picking the side. And then she also messaged the producers to try to get Candace fired and said that she felt threatened. That's the moment that Karen lost me as a fan, because to see someone go that far to the extreme and not wanting to accept responsibility or accept any kind of, punishment or rectification, knowing that you attempted to do that just because you knew that you were picking a side that wasn't going to in the end be beneficial for you, because obviously season later she left the show. So that showed me Karen's true colors. But like I said, devil's advocate, I understand that Karen knows that, hey, she's friends with Robin, she's friends with Giselle, and you already know the Green Eyed Bandits come up with some shit. So you have that double hand, and the fact that she's friends with now Mia, she's friends with Candace. So the first moment that anyone gets into it, who is going to be the oddball out? Karen Huger. She understands that. That's why I'm saying devil's advocate. I could see both sides of the spectrum, but in reality, I do not think that fans should criticize, Charisse for bringing up coming to her mother's funeral, because in reality, I'm trying every way to get through to you, but just and then knowing you're filming the show and people are going to look at it from the perspective of the favorite's point of view. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to look at it. So I'm going to basically let it be known that hey, I didn't do that off camera. I really wanted to be there to support you, and that's where I say another stab comes when you hear that she didn't return the same energy when Sharice's father passed, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was her father. She reached out, gave her a simple text, but then she kept it moving. But in reality, I think Karen has been exposed so much. Sharice has told her business. Even this season was, oh, I'm mad now, so I'm telling everything. Everybody has, good points, bad points. But in that Sharice and Karen situation, it just needs to be a one and done. If the girls really, I understand why a lot of the girls get upset with Karen because Karen never comes forth and is ever honest with anything. You can say that about a lot of people, but Karen really will go tooth and nail before she even owns up to a quarter of a lot of the truth. And she allows narratives to keep going because of the fact that she's not going to take her part because she knows she's a fan favorite. And that's why I kind of dislike the fans hyping these people up because then you take away their actual accountability. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I feel like, not that Sharice lied about Karen. I honestly think some of the stuff was true. Just like I think she has I think everybody is telling the truth. And I think a lot of the times, I don't defend ever Giselle or Robin, but a lot of them hate that she never can immediately own up to anything that she does. She always lies about it first. And they just be wanting the fans to see that. But it's the fan favorite thing. They'll never see that. People will never see that. You understand what I'm saying? But okay, so moving on. I'm going to say when we get into the Chris and Giselle of it all, I just be like, Giselle, do you ever get tired? Just that whole conversation with them explaining why what she said was wrong. Like, what I'm sick and tired of, for one, is Ashley and Giselle keep saying he DM'd her. They intentionally throw that word out there to lead others who are not familiar with the way social media work or are familiar with the way social media work. They think it's a straight, hey, I'm going in your inbox and messaging. They refuse to say he replied to his story because that sounds more innocent. You understand what I'm saying? A reply to someone's story or in saying that someone slid into the DMs is two totally different things. And then to add insult to injury, for Giselle to say that he did something to her, he needs to apologize for what he did to her. If I can never say that the statement that Candace made about a girl, a woman, and her skin color, and about you can say something to someone that ends up being way detrimental and is taken more serious than a person that is of darker, melanin. For them to say something and come back and then you pretend like you didn't understand what the whole point was. The whole point was she was trying to be defamatory. She wanted to tear him down. But the same thing that goes hand in hand with this is for years she has mentioned his brown snake, okay? His brown snake on numerous occasions. I can't even look at you without looking at the top half. You get what I'm saying? All of that basically shows that if anyone should have ever been uncomfortable, it would have been him. She had ample opportunity to bring this stuff up. And the fact that I felt like she was basically copping out to taking any type of accountability during the reunion. The fact that she said, oh, he was just trying, it's like she had that light skin mentality where she just thought someone wanted her and that everybody wants her, and he was just trying to see if I was with it. You know what I'm saying? That whole narrative they push that out there, and it just it's baffling to me. Just like Ashley, saying about her friend, saying that he grabbed her or grabbed another one of the friends on the butt. Then you look at the camera footage and see none of that happens. And then you basically hear how Ashley basically brought up, because right now there's a lawsuit going on, in case people didn't know, between Michael Darby and Candace Dillard Bassett, okay? And he's suing her for that comment that she made about, the paying escort to suck some peen peen. You feel me? And now the same thing that Ashley did to Chris, saying that he grabbed somebody, and then the girls had to remind her that that happened and that she said it, and she was like, "Huh? Did I?" And she was like, "Oh." Just shows that they're just liars. Everybody on that op side is just liars. I'm really hoping to see what's going on next season, because at the end of the day, I feel like Robin has no law. She's wrote her story off. We saw her get married. And now to see that she was holding things back during the reunion, that, that was a well discussed subject, not on the show, but behind the scenes and, on social media. So I feel like right now, I don't understand why they showed us those clips. I thought there was a rumor that she was going to be getting terminated in those clips, but just to watch it, I don't understand why they showed us that. If I'm looking forward to next season, I'm definitely looking forward to Candace and Wendy. People like Robin and Mia, I feel like this should be their last season. And I mean, I can't say anything else. I used to be a Robin fan because I understood being a writer for somebody that you care about and you like. But after seeing how she did the little JBL speaker, she played it out loud with Candace, and how she's been like not taking any accountability for her actions as far as antagonizing the fight between Wendy and Mia, even though Mia was 100% in the wrong, her standing to the side basically undermined the point. I love this reunion because Candace came out swinging. She stood by her man. She rode for her man. Her calling Giselle a gutter snipe after, I just love her. I love her energy. I love that she had a good season and that she's learned how to jump ahead of the narrative. In case people don't understand, when you already see the flags waving, you try to get ahead of that story, and not even ahead of that story, especially when someone is trying to put, false rumors on your husband. But anyway, you guys, I hope you like my review. If I left out anything during the reading, I really do apologize, because I don't know. Oh, yeah, the Happy Eddie thing. I love the dynamic between Wendy and Eddie, because the way they handled that whole situation with them accusing him of being too smiley, flirting with the women, it just shows a perfect prime example of what Wendy said, of them not knowing what a good man is and how a man is supposed to treat someone. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thank you.